Greetings. This week we continue driving west on Indiana State Road 56 to Jefferson County. George Logan was the first known white man to explore the region that would become Jefferson County while waiting out bad weather in February of 1801. Logan had landed just downstream of current Hanover Landing. He trekked up the hill to hunt and explore. During his explorations, he resolved to return to the site and settle. Logan did return to settle after serving in the War of 1812. Before Logan returned to live, numerous hunters and trappers stopped in the area over the next few years. However, none settled permanently until Elder Jesse Botter, accompanied by a large group of men, visited the area in late spring 1805. Botter chose a home site, as did the others, and constructed a cabin. Finished with this task, the men returned to Kentucky to bring their families. The Indiana Territorial Assembly created Jefferson County on November the 23rd, 1810, naming it after Thomas Jefferson. The Assembly used portions of Dearborn and Clark County to create the new county. County officials organized the county on February the 1st, 1811, choosing Madison as the county seat. The current courthouse is the third structure to serve as Jefferson County's courthouse. A fire destroyed the second courthouse in 1854. Designed by architect David Dubach, the courthouse was constructed between 1854 and 1855. The courthouse dome caught fire on May the 20th, 2009, during a renovation project. A contractor using a propane torch to solder copper gutters together caused the fire. Workers removed the dome in two pieces and reconstructed the roof and other structural components. While passing through Madison, a visit to Lanier Mansion is a fun way to pass a couple of hours. The Lanier Mansion is a Indiana State Historic Site owned and managed by the Indiana State Museum. Designed by architect Frank Costigan, the house was constructed between 1834 and 1835 for financier James Lanier. The home features a Corinthian columns, a spiral staircase, round doors, and round frieze windows. The Lanier family owned the home until 1917, when the family donated it to Jefferson County. The state of Indiana acquired the house in 1925 to operate as a state historic site. James F. D. Lanier lived from November the 22nd, 1800 until August the 27th, 1881. Born in Washington, North Carolina, to Alexander Chalmers and Drusilla Dottie Lanier, he migrated to Madison, Indiana at age 17 with his parents. He studied law at Transylvania University at Lexington, Kentucky, then got a job as assistant clerk. He became clerk of Indiana House of Representatives at Corydon. He assisted in the move when the capital transferred from Corydon to Indianapolis in 1825. Lanier became involved in finance and became president of the Bank of Indiana, an institution he had helped the state of Indiana establish. He gained majority stocks at the Madison branch of that bank in 1833. By the late 1830s, Lanier spearheaded the push to build Madison and Indianapolis Railroad. This profitable railroad, along with his banking success, led to his accumulation of a large fortune. In 1844, he built his mansion in Madison, a spot overlooking the Ohio River. Lanier served twice to save the state of Indiana from financial ruin. In 1844, the state reeled from the massive Internal Improvement Act of 1836. The passage of the act had strained the state's resources to the breaking point. He arranged foreign investors to reduce the state's debt in return for transferring the property to the creditors. This saved the state from bankruptcy. During the Civil War, the federal government requested that Indiana raise and equip troops to fight in the war. Governor Oliver P. Morton requested that Lanier, who by now lived in New York, to lend the state $500,000. Lanier complied with the request and followed it up with a later loan of $500,000. He received no guarantee of repayment for these loans. The state did repay him by 1870. Lanier removed to New York, never to come again to Indiana. In 1851, to manage businesses he had started there. He died in 1881. The family retained possession of the mansion. His son Alexander C. Lanier lived in the home from 1851 until 1895, continuing to develop the house and garden during that time. The state of Indiana acquired the property and restored it. It is now a state historic site open to the public. It's been designated a National Historic Landmark in 1994. The 1844 Greek Revival Mansion was designed by architect Francis Costigan for financier and railroad magnate James F. D. Lanier. Lanier Mansion is located just off the Ohio River Byway in the city of Madison, Indiana. On a slight rise above the Ohio River, the mansion was fully restored with a period furniture and garden. It is now a state-owned museum. You can find the Lanier Mansion at 601 West 1st Street, Madison, Indiana, 47250. You can phone 812-265-3526. The group Historic Madison owns a number of historic properties in Madison. Founded in 1960 by Mr. and Mrs. John T. Wendell, the Historic Madison has played an important role in preservation of many of Madison's historic buildings. The city has about 1,500 historic buildings, including homes, businesses, and industrial sites. Historic Madison owns 15 properties in and around Madison, 4 of which they have open for the public to visit on weekends from April through October. Several of the others are open for private tours and special events. The Talbot Hyatt Garden at the corner of 2nd and Poplar Street is open from dawn to dusk daily. Their properties include the Costigan House, Dr. Hutchings Hospital and Office, Jeremiah Sullivan House, the Talbot Hyatt Garden, the Schroeder Saddle Tree Factory Museum. These are open to the public at stated hours. The ones that's open only by appointment or at events would be the John T. Wendell Memorial Auditorium, St. Michael the Archangel Church, the Lutheran College, AME Church, Shrewsbury Wendell House. You can get the Historic Madison at www.historicmadisoninc.com. At Clifty Falls State Park, which is near Madison, just west of it, the traveler can stay in the inn or in the modern campground. Located a short distance west of Madison, Indiana, Clifty Falls, 273-8885. From Jefferson County, Indiana State Road 46 travels to Clark County, our destination next week. This series of podcasts is based upon one of my newest books, Exploring the Ohio River. This is a large format, 8.5 by 11.5, 113-page book. It includes 243 full-color photographs. The photographs include the topics of this podcast. Anyway, the majestic Ohio River forms Indiana's entire southern border, creating a lovely subject for a road trip. Quaint river towns lie along its route, connected by the Ohio River Byway. The byway stretches from the Mississippi River in southwestern Illinois to the Ohio River source in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This book mostly follows the Indiana route, though it deviates from places to back roads that border the river. The route includes 13 counties, which are among Indiana's oldest counties and contain some of the state's oldest cities and towns. Exploring the Ohio River can serve as your guide on a scenic and historic road trip along Indiana's southern border, the Great Ohio River. You can find the book on my website, where you can purchase it direct from me. It's also available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble in hardbound format. It is also available at the Walnut Street Variety Shop on George Street in downtown Batesville. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and